Alright, so good morning. My name is Joff, or Joffrey. I'll be our tour pilot today. We're gonna have a really fun trip, see some amazing places, but most importantly, we are going to be safe. Safety is always number one. Everyone did get to see the safety briefing video in the office, right?
Yes.
Thank you. If there's questions about that exciting film, you can ask before we go. I'll be happy to clear things up. We do have the microphones, you're using them perfectly there. There's one for every 2 seats you have to share. And to use it correctly, you talk into the top of it. It does need to be close to your mouth, and then hold the button in to speak into it. And I do turn those off when we're in the air, in the airport, just so I can talk to the tower. But as soon as we're outside of the airspace, I'll turn them right back on. From there, we talk all you like. So unless there's questions now, you can go fly around. Alright, we'll get started. Five gonna pull with 5-5 record. Here we go.
Your show.
Alright, microphones are active again. We're starting out here in a westerly direction, traveling along the south side of the island first, our sunny south shore. nice and sunny on the shoreline. It's like a nice day. It's going to be a little bit of wind though around the island, which is okay. We'll feel it in the form of turbulence, which is not a safety hazard to us. Just wanted to make sure everyone knew that before we're bouncing around the mountains. On the backside of the mountain where the wind is coming back downhill is where we usually get turbulence. So if anyone is feeling bothered with that, you can let me know and I'll fly a little bit further away from the mountainsides. Try and smooth out as much as possible, but of course we do have those white baggies in here as well. We call them aloha bags, and they work better when they're open. So it's better to have one before that last second. Out the far left of us, the shoreline out here with the buildings on it is Poipu. That's kind of our more sunny resort area. A lot of people really love it out there because this is how it looks on most days. Bright and sunny, perfect for sunburns. However, it's not as green on that shoreline as you can see to the right of us where it's raining all the time. So that's the trade-off you get with all that sun. So it's good to kind of get around the island, see everything while you're here. And flying with us, Blue Hawaiian is a good way to do that because we see it all. Looks like 3 groups on this trip around the world today. So first we have in the front and back, we have Salvador, Lourdes, and Conrad all traveling together, right? Where are you 3 visiting in from?
We're all from Chicago.
Chicago, nice. I've been up through there a couple times. A lot nicer people than I expected for a big city.
Our group's 27 people.
Oh, fun. So you spread about all the helicopters here? Make sure our tour is better than everyone else's, then just so you can rub it into them.
We took the Hilo tour.
But we'll have to do better than them too. Our island's much prettier. And I'm not biased at all.
Yeah, I could tell that right away. About the island being beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm proud of it. I was lucky enough to be born and raised here. So I have been here most of my life. Minus 8 years I flew for the US Army, where I got most of my helicopter background, but hopped around the US 2 years overseas in Afghanistan before coming back here. And been with Blue Hawaii now for about 4.5 years. Thousands of trips around this island. Whole lot of useless information in my head if you have questions about anything too.
Are a lot of the pilots military?
About 50-50 mix right now is pretty normal. So we also have Noel and Ann in the front and back as well. How about you guys? Where are you coming from?
We're from the east coast of Canada on an island called Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Is it cold there, or do you have kind of like the other coast where it's not too bad?
A little bit cooler than here.
A little bit?
Just a little.
Like negative 300 or something around there?
No, our winters get down to about 10 degrees. That's not so bad.
That's not so bad, yeah. I know there's some places up there that really get beat up pretty bad. You can always tell because everyone starts visiting here from Saskatchewan and all these places that are like just turned into ice cubes. You can always tell where you don't want to be in the world by looking at who's visiting Kauai. Usually true.
Yeah, this is a great trip for us. Newfoundland, by the way, is the most easterly point in Canada and in North America, actually. So we're right up there in the Atlantic.
I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of that one before. Before we head over the edge here, Kathy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. Where are you from?
From Seattle. My captain and I were on a layover today, so we had long enough time to be able to come visit you guys.
Is Captain flying on one of the other birds?
He is, yeah.
Awesome. What airline?
American.
Oh, my favorite.
Very good to hear.
So if the music didn't give it away yet, this was in the original Jurassic Park. They fly a helicopter into the dinosaur island. They fly right up this valley we're turning into. Land in front of a big waterfall. I'm gonna go turn in front of that right now. It's out the right here. I'll get a little bit closer in. We're going back and forth here a couple of times so everyone gets to see. About 380 feet tall. We're climbing up out of our Hanapepe Valley now. So this entire valley is actually privately owned. All the way up to the top there. Owners are the Robinsons. You have all this, yeah. Actually, this valley, the next canyon west of us, and the land in between the two. 51,000 acres is all privately owned by the Robinson family.
I'll have to go look them up.
Yeah. You're like, hey, cousin, somewhere, yeah.
Do you know where they came from?
Scotland. Long time ago in 1860, they bought this land here.
I would imagine they put restrictions on what can be built.
They do now. Because most of this, I think, is just zoned open, so not anything they could develop. Most of the interior of the island is forest reserve, protected. But they bought it for the area near the shoreline to grow sugarcane. That was the big moneymaker back in the day. So all this really wasn't even what they were after. They didn't want the land up here. It just came as a package deal. The Hawaiians didn't want this blocked off and no one being responsible for it, which is kind of a neat thing. The Hawaiians didn't have land ownership. So the closest thing kind of is to it is a land responsibility. They just want to make someone in charge of the area, protect the land and the people on it. That's how they ended up with all this, including Olopela Canyon here, which we're crossing next. This one's almost as large as Waimea, but since it's privately owned, you don't really get to see this one very often. No lookout, you can see down into it. We have a helicopter, works out a little bit easier that way. I'll get in over to this side. You can see things do change a little bit. Kind of dry. And it's because of our wind. It's the wind's out of the northeast most of the time here. Kind of hits the mountains, gets pushed up, and all that moisture off the ocean turns into rain. It dries out on top and then it comes downhill over here. It doesn't have a lot left to give, so it gets far less rain actually. On the west coast, only about 19 inches a year, which is right over there. And the middle gets 450 inches of rain a year, so it's a pretty big disparity. So this side I think does have kind of its own different beauty with the red dirt popping through it. Kind of gives it a nice contrasting color in the Waimea Canyon, which we're going into next. Grand Canyon of the Pacific.
Like some of the trees have that fungus.
Yeah, a lot of them not doing too good right in that area. Some issues they have up here. A lot of not native species in this area kind of take over.
Bluebirds fly. You dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where
this canyon's about 11 miles long, 3,000 feet deep in the back.
Bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful.
One of the neat things I like to point out here is all these horizontal lines in the canyon walls. They're not sedimentary like you might see in the Grand Canyon. They're all separate lava flows. So it's kind of a good depiction of how the island gets made, like a big layer cake, one on top of the next. It took about 1 million years to form all this, and then it's been eroding away now for the last 4.5.
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really say, I love you.
There's a nice waterfall around the corner here on the right. Waipo'o Falls.
They'll learn much more.
Just one you could actually hike right up to the top of.
Think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like a lemon drops high.
It's a nice hike up there called the Canyon Trail. One of the more well-traveled trails up in Kauai, the camping area up top.
Over the rainbow, way up high, the dream that you dare to, why, oh why can't
Here's the rest of you. This is where we cross the road that comes up here. Goes right along this ridge, wraps around to the back. It's a pretty drive up if you haven't ever been up there to Kauai. Far west of the island, out in front of us, is kind of the only military base that we have on Kauai. Here's Barking Sands, the Pacific Missile Range facility. It's a missile defense base. Missile testing, submarine stuff. Not the worst place to be stationed if you are in the military, like right on the beach. And out in the distance is Ni'ihau. It's our closest neighbor island there. Also owned by the Robinsons. We got that one too.
What are they harvesting down to the right there?
Trees.
Just taking out all the dead stuff?
It was a forest fire about 4 years ago, or 3 years ago.
Bummer.
But it's something kind of neat. It's all forest reserve here, so it's protected, but they had the opportunity to cut down those trees, which are not native. And they're going to be used in the green waste generator to make electricity, so that's pretty neat. And then they're replanting those little divots you saw on the ground. They're replanting a native species, koa, they're starting with.
It's nice that they can put it back where it was.
Yeah. So far it's a win-win. Hopefully they keep going and do the whole thing all the way to the bottom. Next up for us, we cross out onto our Nepali coast. The 16-mile stretch of shore with no road. You'll definitely understand why there's no road all the way around the island once we're out off the edge here. It gets a little bit steep. valley we're going through first. Supposedly, this is the first place that people lived when they came to Hawaii, in this little valley right here. They didn't need much room to start with, just a boat full of them. Didn't know anything about the islands when they showed up. Didn't know if there was people here before them, animals they need to worry about. It was kind of a safe place to start out, well hidden. They branched out from there. This whole Nepali coast was inhabited, even till recent times. You can see some of the terrace work in the front of that valley. Farming all over here. Lean it back over here to Knoll side on the right. The open ceiling cave right on the water line, directly right of us. The lava tube where the roof caved in. And out the left side over the beach as I lean over, you guys will see the Honopu Archway. Oh, another one just caved in on either end. This part usually makes the big swing drivers wiggle back in their seat a little bit.
Yeah, you can go a little slower than us.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's the same feeling I get though when like I'm in a big swing airplane and you're going into land and you're still going so fast. Like, no, no, no. Too quick. That next beach on the right of us is Kalalau Beach. It's the end of the 11-mile hike from the North Shore. Pretty amazing hike. The valley itself is the largest one out here, about 2 miles across this, 3 miles in. Around the time of Western arrival, there was about 4,000 people living in this valley right here. valley we'll cross here. Means warrior in the Hawaiian language. Training ground. I used to go out there and throw spears and do push-ups and stuff. Might get a gust of wind as we come out offshore here. Kind of hide out of the wind near the mountain sometimes. Speeds up when it goes around this part of the island. That's not so bad. Next little beach to the front right of us. And valley there is Kauai. So that's the 2-mile point on the Folly Coast Trail. It's my favorite hike on the island. It's a fun one. More of a day trip than the whole 11 miles out. And it starts at Ke'e Beach, which is the end of the road on the North Shore, right over here. Back to civilization. Before we go further out up North Shore, I'm going to do a left turn over here. Get our left side over here. One more view back in the Folly. Now that we're on the north end of the island, you can really see how much more green and lush it is up here compared to the west side and south side anyway. It's a lot more what I think of as a tropical island here. Long beach lines, big protective reef everywhere. Big pretty reefs. This reef right over here is Tunnels. You might have heard of. It's a great snorkeling area. Popular surf break. If anyone has seen the movie Soul Surfer, Bethany Hamilton's story, that's where Bethany met the shark. further out in front of us is the more developed part of the North Shore. Princeville on the far side with the St. Regis Hotel out there. Big fancy golf courses. Kilauea is the next point with the lighthouse and the bird sanctuary. And of course, Honolulu Bay is a big, beautiful bay right over here. That's where I grew up here on the North Shore, Honolulu, Princeville area. In the mean streets of Honolulu. We're gonna cross in right before Lumahai Beach. This one, if anyone's a musical fan, that was in South Pacific, where Mitzi Gaynor washed that man right out of her hair. Right in there. Honolulu is still my favorite place to come spend time, even though I don't live on this side of the island anymore. Really beautiful area. Of course, it's not always like this. This is the side that gets all the weather and the rain, so it's more often than not all these clouds, or all these mountains over here clouded in. Which also kind of keeps the crowds away from the North Shore too, because it's not as much of a sure thing as the south side. In the back of Honolulu is a bunch of fields growing taro, which is what they make poi from, that kind of purple pasty food you might have while you're here in luau or somewhere. Probably the most authentically Hawaiian food you could try here. I always tell people to try it. You won't like it. It's part of traveling, right? Try the local food. Like if you go to Chicago, you have to have one of those nice deep dish pizzas. It's on the checklist. Big mountain to oh, go ahead.
All the fish I've had here, everything tastes good.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's very good. A lot of fresh caught stuff at Honolulu Dolphin, the restaurant in Honolulu is, I would say, the best seafood on the island. If anyone has a chance to make it out there.
Have you seen these islands? Have you seen the beauty?
Tall waterfall in front of us. It's Waioli Falls coming down Namalokama, is the name of the mountain.
Brothers, sisters walking hand in hand. Have you seen the ocean?
It's about 2,400 feet tall.
Miles of crystal deep blue seas. Can you smell the flowers? Fill the air with fragrances for free. This is aloha. This is aloha. This is aloha. This land of Hawaii. Have you felt the power Mountain craters throwing lava in the air.
I like that.
Birds green swept
We're going to follow this valley up towards the center of the island.
everywhere.
Same valley the town's in.
Ancient gods.
It goes a lot further than most people think. From the lookout in principle, you can only see kind of to the left of us, to about a quarter of the way up. Up here, no hiking trail, no easy way to see it. And it is state land, so you could make your own way back, but it would take probably days to reach the back with as slow going as it is. Very thick vegetation. Probably what surprised me the most though when I first started flying these tours, just because I'd never seen any of this or even knew it was here until I started flying through, and then I actually grew up at the front of the valley. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a real nice perk of the job.
Yeah, I wish I had done it earlier. It really gives you a good, nice kind of a feeling for what the island's all about, how it all connects.
Have you
Lots of places out here that you just can't see any other way.
mountain craters throwing lava in the air? Birds green swept beauty. From each island blossoms everywhere. Have you felt its spirit?
Also kind of adds to Kauai's small island charm, I think, when we have these areas that aren't filled in or well traveled. Like if this was on Oahu, you know, they'd probably have a shopping center back here and 8-lane highway through it.
Mountains make you cry. You will love these islands.
Good to have a little mystique left.
Nothing in the world can compare. If you touch the spirit, then the gift of love will lead you here. This is aloha.
As we cross the ridge in the back, we're on the east side of the island again. Got to see the whole east side here from Kapa'a off the left, Wailu in the middle, all the way to Lihui in the end, where we took off. We're not going to go straight back over there. Just around the corner here on the right of us is Mount Waialeale, our volcano. And rainiest place on earth is actually right on top of that ridge right there, which doesn't look like it right now, but it's normally in the clouds. Kind of a big V shape cut in there. Everything inside of that, what we call our crater.
I did.
It's not really the crater, it's kind of just what's left of the mountain. After 4.5 million years of erosion, most of that mountain's missing. But opened up out the side at some point and left us this little doorway here. We'll fly right into the middle. want to ask me going in, I'll do it first of all. Since I gotta shut down, probably speed things up. From here, we're starting to head back in. About halfway in, I start chatting with our traffic control. Before we do that, would like to thank you guys for coming out and flying with me. Thank you on behalf of Blue Hawaiian Helicopters, of course, for choosing us.
Thank you. It's been a great tour.
Absolutely my pleasure. Beautiful island. I think the best way to see it is from up above here. Also, before we're back in the airspace, I'm supposed to tell you at some point during the tour that we offer this on Oahu, Maui, 2 bases on Big Island, Waikolo, and Hilo. It's my shameless plug, I have to get out of the way.
That's how we heard about the Kauai, where it was Hilo.
We all, across the board, we're all supposed to say it. And they have to over here, of course, because ours is so much better that swing by one more waterfall on our way back in. One's called Wailua Falls. It'll be out the left side first, right at the top of this windy river valley. You've seen the old TV show Fantasy Island, the little guy tattooed, the plane captain. This waterfall that was in that. Blowing pretty good right now.
How's that?
microphones are off. So we're back on the ground. Happy landing music starting. We'll be on the ground in just a few more minutes. When we do get there, if everyone please remain in your seats, we're going to let the ground crew open up the doors for us. As every now and then, someone opens up the door on their own with the emergency exit handle. The door falls off. Yeah, we don't really want that. We'll let the ground crew get the doors. At that time, you can remove your seatbelts yourself by rotating the latch on the front. Also, please remember to remove your headsets from your head before jumping out of the seat. It happens a lot. Even to me. And you can exit the door you came in forward to the blue square out in front of the helicopter. You wait in the blue square. Ground crew is going to come back and they'll offer to take a picture for you with your camera in front of the helicopter before you head into the office. Once you're in the office, you go in. On the left is our computers, their guest book. It's also the pen and paper version in the glass box right as you walk in. And if you do fill those out, please remember my name is Pilot Joff or Joffrey.
I heard a voice in the morning, cause she calls me, as though to remind me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I feel spirits coming to me from yesterday. All my memories hold heaven on high. Brown skin woman, clear blue island sky. Daytime sun shines, oh so bright. Midnight moon a glowing, stars up in the sky. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. Mount Kauai, take me home, country road.
1-5 coming in behind you.
I hear a voice in the morning, constantly calling, as though to remind me of my home far away. We driving down the road, I feel spirits coming to me of yesterday.
We're going to be shutting down our helicopter again after landing, not before. After we're on the ground, I'm going to give the engine a minute to cool off. Then switch it off. When the rotor blades come to a full stop, that's when the ground crew is going to come out and help us out. You guys are stuck with me. A couple extra minutes here. Alright, back on Earth. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. Hope everyone had a good time and enjoy the stay as well. Mahalo nui loa.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you again.